term structure, which we are going to learn about data, how data is being structured in computer science and like in computer memory. That is what we are going to learn in data structure, how data is structured or kept in a structure in a proper organized manner in a computer memory. That is what we are going to learn in data structure. So as I told, we will be studying two subjects. One is DBMS, the full form will be database management system. The other one will be data structures, right? So what is the difference? You will be thinking, so the basic difference is DBMS refers to the storage of data in secondary memory. Secondary memory is a memory which we are dealing with, right? Our disk, C drive, D drive, E drive. So how the data is stored in the secondary memory is considered in DBMS or database management system, which you are going to learn in the next semester. Listen here. DBMS or database management system refers to the storage of data in the secondary memory. What it secondary memory of the computer means the storage, like our D drive, C drive and all, no? The disk storage. How efficiently organized is our data in the secondary memory. Got it? But data structures, what we are going to learn in this semester, is concerned with the data, how it is being organized in the main memory. So the same program, what we are just like in last semester, we had typed C programs, right? When we are not executing the program, it will be there in our secondary memory, which is our disk. When we are executing the program, when we are running the program, it will be copied into the main memory or the RAM. Got it? So the basic difference is DBMS deals with the storage of the program. I am talking in terms of our C program. Last year we had typed 20 programs, right? All those programs, when they are peacefully resting, no, it will be there in the disk, right? The second storage. When we are running the program, it will be copied into the main memory. So while running the program, what is the extra storage required? Can anyone tell me? What are the two types of variables we are using in a program, in a C program? Just answer. Now don't keep quiet, I came to know about you when you came for the offline classes. So all are smart students. Answer in chat box or unmute and speak. You are only 13 or 12, no? You can answer in the loudly giving unmute.
Local and global variable, ma'am.
Good, Nagaraj. Kritika is there, right? Kritika, you also should answer. So here, local and global variables are the variables which will be assigned values when you are running the program. When we are just storing the program without running, if we are not assigning the values, we are not using the extra storage for the variables and all. But when we are running the program in the main memory, you will be, so when we are running only, we will be initializing the variables, int a, like that we were initializing the variables a, b, c. You remember for the arrays, we will be initializing the size of 10, a of 10, like that, right? So that much memory should be allocated in the main memory, which is RAM. What is a difference between a secondary memory and the main memory? When we are buying a laptop, you tell me, how much will be the cost? No, you know that your laptop cost will be determined. If you will be having nowadays, it is very cheap for the memory. So the secondary memory, you will be getting in gigabytes, or now I don't know, later system will be in terabytes and all, right? Disk C drive, the secondary memory is not that costly when compared to that of the main memory, right? The RAM, the cost of RAM, the speed of RAM and all, no, that determines the cost of the laptop, right? So it is very now also it is we are getting even RAM also in more RAM also in lesser price, but still when compared to the secondary memory, we are more bothered about the main memory, because main memory is the place where we are storing the program. And for easy access, we have studied register, so where that is even more costly. And for easily accessing the variables, we will keep the most used variables in the register. That also we have studied register variables, you remember. So when we are using the or when we are running a C program, or when we are executing any of the applications, we will be copying that thing or whatever there in the main memory. When you are playing a audio, some music, what will happen? You are taking it, and when we are running something, that is will be stored in the main memory. So we have to make the efficient storage of that program or whatever we are running in the main memory most efficiently. So that organization of data in the main memory is the main concern about the data structure. So the difference you have to remember, one is about the secondary memory storage, the other one will be the main memory. You know how to organize your DBMS, right? How to make partition. Most of you might have installed your operating system, right? When you are making the partitions and all, your Windows operating system. So you will be allocating in C drive 100 GB, like that you will be allocating, right? DBMS or the database management, you might have seen when you are installing your operating. Some of you might have got it installed in your laptop, but still if you want to see, you can see the properties, in that I'll just show you. So that deals with the storage of data in the secondary memory. We will be able to see only our secondary memory of the computer, right? Disk storage. Data structure is dealing with the storage of data in the main memory. Okay, so this is our main concern. So in this chapter, we will just explain some of the terms related to data. After that, we will start with the data structure. So this again, you will be learning. Data is common for both data structure and DBMS, right? Database management system. Both are data. One is stored in the secondary, the other one is primary, but we should know what is data. What is data? When we are doing a survey, we will be collecting some facts, right? Some facts, any collection of facts, that is known as data, right? Fact regarding, suppose you are taking a survey on what we want to have for the sports day, what all we need to have, what all sports you should have for the who left the meeting. You should have for the sports day. You will be collecting from all the students of St. Francis. You will be having a set of facts. That is, sometimes you might have asked the name of the student, age of the no, age is not required for you, but still, suppose if I'm asking for the age, gender, and sports, you want to have sports items, or what all sports you want to have for the sports day. You will be having collecting some information from, or collection of facts from your friends, right? After that, whatever you collected is known as a data. So what is data? It's a collection of facts. It may consist of numbers, right? Numbers may be for the age of the student, and some words means it's a collection of alphabets, right? It will be the name of the student, and it may be the sports which we have mentioned. And sometimes measurement, sometimes, if you are asking for the height of the student, or some observations, if you are asking for some comments from the students, those things, and description of the things, those things comes under the which we are collecting as the comments, can come under the observations or description, depending upon the survey. So data is nothing but a collection of facts. Facts need not be only numbers. It need not be only alphabets. It can be a set of numbers and words all together. It is a mixture of numbers, words, measurements, and observations or comments, anything, right? Now, data can be a set of values, some more organized. This is just like a survey, but when we are dealing with the bank or some other bigger organization, they will be having a particular format for storing the data, or collecting the data. Suppose I'm having a bank is having some details like employee details. It will be having employee name, employee ID, and employee contact number. These are the fields which are expected. So this is also a set of collection of values, right? It is having the value for employee name will be the name of the employee. Value for the employee ID will be the employee ID, and the value for the contact number will be the phone number, right? So these are also considered as the data. So when whatever unorganized data what we collect using a survey, and whatever organized data what we have it in an organization, both are as nothing but a set of facts or set of values are considered as a data. Now, among the data which we have collected, it can be either single item or it can be a group item. Are you getting? It can be a single item or it can be a group item. What is the difference between a single data item and a group item? A single data item, which is consisting of a single unit of value. Suppose example, a gender can be either male, female or transgender, right? So it is, we cannot further divide a gender into sub items. So those items which cannot be further, like it is considered as a single unit of value, is known as a datum or a single item, while group item are those data items which can be further subdivided. Suppose I collected the employee name. Employee name can be, it is still can be divided into sub items like first name, middle name and last name. Got it? So the first name, middle name and the last name. So today itself I'll be giving the seminar topic. Okay. So either you have to find it or the topics which I have completed. Now you have to inform me. If you can't take, then I may help you out. I'll send the PPTs and you can present with that if you are not getting content from the internet. Okay, because you are, I feel like all are muting and then sitting quietly. At least unmute and speak. All are in WhatsApp.
No, ma'am.
Listen.
No, no.
Asraf has unmuted. Okay, this semester also Suhail only, right? Suhail, you are class rep, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'll be asking in between if like anyway you have to give attendance in chat box. When you are combined with BCA also you have to give. So then I'll be directly marking in DHI. So because we cannot change it in later on. Last time we were marking in Excel. So this time directly we are marking in the software. So be attentive and give attendance in the chat box also. Okay. So group items are those which we can further divide it. We can make it as sub item. So employee name is consisting of first name, middle name and the last name. Now these sub items which we cannot further divide can be considered as an elementary item. So this can be like a data item. It is almost similar data item, single data item and the elementary item. This is considered as a single unit of value, but here elementary item is considered as the sub items which we get after dividing a group item. That's it. Or we can have even if it is having set of numbers, like a PAN card number will be having group of numbers, and even account number will be having a set of numbers. We cannot further divide into sub items. In this data, single item or datum and elementary item can be considered as similar, which cannot be further divided. That's it. Okay, so we understood what is data and what is group item and what is data item and the elementary item. You can give simple definition as data is a collection of facts or set of values. These are never asked for exam, but only for understanding. Because we are going to explain what is data structure. So what is data, we should first understand. Okay. So after that, we are moving on to the, so this is one example. What is here, Mamata, which is single data item, which is group item. Mamata.
Single data item is student, ma'am.
No, student is an entity or an object that I'm going to tell. We are collecting information regarding the student. Okay. So student is having a student ID, student is having a name, student is having an address, student is having an age and gender. Among these properties which are explaining about a student, which are the items which does not have any sub items? Among ID, name, address, age and gender. Mamta, which is not having any sub item? Just now I told, no?
ID, age and gender.
Right? But name is having further first name, middle name and last name. Address is having street and area. So name and address are example for group items, while ID, age and gender, they cannot be divided further divided into sub items. So it can be considered as a datum or an element datum. Here we can tell it as also as a elementary item because we cannot further divide it. Right here, first name also we cannot further divide. last name also we cannot further divide, ID also we cannot further subdivide. So data is a collection of facts and values. And here group item example is name, and elementary item we can consider as a gender. Now we are moving on to, so here Mamta told student, right? So we should know what is this student, and what all can be considered as similar to that of the student, for which we can collect data. In the last example I told employee, right? And here also an example I told employee details. So what is that peculiarity about these, for which we can have some collection of properties which can explain the explain about that particular object. So now we are going to or for what we can collect data, right? So here we are going to explain about that object for which we can collect data. So here in the previous slide we saw that ID is a data, name is a data, address is a data, age is, and gender all are pertaining to the student. So how we can define a student now? So student can be considered as any object, right? Or any of the, in the previous example it was employee, in the later example it was a student. So they can be named as an entity, right? Entity is, don't get scared of the term called entity. Entity is nothing but an object, right? You can consider a car, or you can consider a pencil or a mobile phone as an entity that has certain attributes or properties which can be assigned some value. So don't see this definition itself. Here in this example, employee of an organization can be considered as an entity. Got it? I can explain, or I can describe this employee with the different properties. What are the different properties? Attribute, the term, which you can understand, you just ignore, you just see the properties. So name, or the like peculiarities, how you can explain. If I'm telling there are two Sahanas, how I can differentiate between Sahana of BCA and Sahana of BSC. So you will be telling her initial or the last name is different, and then her age, and how you can describe Sahana of your class and Sahana of the other class. So you will be finding some properties which you will tell the first itself, you didn't get register number, but register number is the most important ID, the property with which we can differentiate Sahana of BC and BSc. And the other one you will be telling she is in BSc, the other one is in BCA. These are the properties with which we can explain and differentiate between the two objects, right? So any object that has certain attributes or properties which can be assigned values. So what is the difference between name and John? Name and John, age and 33, gender and male, employee ID and 13,472. Name is a property, John is the value. Age is a property, 33 is the value, right? So these objects or entity, I'm defining entity. Entity, you can give examples. What are some of the entities which we see around? You can tell car, you can tell a pencil pouch, or whatever you have with you, which can be described using the, or which can be differentiated using the properties, set of properties, and these properties should be assigned to some values, right? So these are, so what is an entity? Entity is an object which has certain properties, and these properties can be assigned some values. So as I told, an employee can be described using this set of attributes: name, age, attributes or properties, name, age, gender, and employee ID. And these properties can be assigned some values. Got it? These are not asked for university exam, but it's only for your understanding. Okay. So this same thing will be we will be explaining for the DBMS of next semester, but this is only to understand what is data. Okay, I can just proceed with explaining what is data and what is information, but I'm just telling how it is been organized. So if I'm using some term called entity, or if I'm using some word called attributes and properties, you should understand. Okay, that's why, only for the definition's sake. So you understand those terms, and later on, no, this is only for introduction. Okay, sorry. So now we are moving on to the next slide, entity set. What is an entity set? Entities with a similar attribute. So in the last slide, I was telling about only John with the employee ID 13472. But now I'm having a set of entities. All are the entities? John, Mary, and Rahul. These three are the entities. What is an entity? An object which can be explained or which can be described with the properties. Which are the properties here? Employee ID, name, age, and gender. I can give the first entity, which is John, value for the attribute. Employee ID value can be 13472 for John, age is 33, and gender is male. Likewise, Mary also can be assigned some values for the attributes called employee ID, name, and age. Rahul also. So these set of entities which are having similar attributes forms an entity set. Can we give a cat or any mobile phone as an entity in this entity set? Can we give mobile phone in this entity set?
No.
Mobile phone is not having any employee ID. It's not having any name, age, or gender, right? Only those entities which can be categorized with the same attributes and properties can be grouped together as an entity set, right? So only those entities with the similar attributes. What is other term for attributes? What is other term for attributes? Properties, right? Similar properties. Similar properties. Last slide I showed attributes or properties. So entities with the similar properties forms an entity set. Understood? So all these can be given as an employee entity. So this set is known as this entity set name is employee details, which is an entity here. John, Mary, Rahul, all three are entity, and the set is entity set name is employee details. Now, what is a domain? Those terms, if you don't remember, you just see this, that's all. When I'm using that term, so just to understand, that's all. Domain means here, domain of age. What is the domain of age? The set of values which are applicable for that particular property. Age, what is the minimum and the maximum age for a person? If you are starting from 0 and with the months, if you are just born, we will be telling with the months, you can start from 0 because at birth, for birthday only we will be telling it as 1 year, right? Up to what age maximum one human can live, like it will be up to 110 or 105, like that we have heard, right? So you can set the domain of age from 0 to 200. Maximum 200 nobody will be living, but still you can just keep the domain of age from 0 to 200. So domain is nothing but the possible set of values. What is a value? I have told what is a property I have told, and properties are those which can be assigned some values. Here in this example, what are the properties? Employee ID, name, age, and gender. What are the values? Values are for the name we have given John, age we have given 33. What are the possible values for a particular attribute? Those are known as domain. For age, we are not expecting any alphabets. So I'll be setting the domain for age as 0 to 200. Got it? So tell me, Nidin, can you tell me what is the domain of Nidin? Are you there? What is the domain of name? Nidin, he's doing some other business. NCC, you went for NCC now. Harsha, nobody. Harsha,
Yes, ma'am, I'm there. The range is from A to Z.
The range is from A to Z. Good. So similarly, for name and gender also. Gender, what are the possible domain? We will be telling it as male, female, and transgender, right? So these are the three possible values for the gender, right? So we'll be setting the domain for gender as 3. You can give for male, you can give it as 0, for female it as 1, and for transgender as 2. You can assign numbers also, but we are setting the domain for gender as male, female, and transgender, right? Like that we can set the domain for each of the attribute. Again, for the employee ID, if you are not having a mix of like alphanumeric, both alphabets and numbers, then you can set the range of employee ID also from 0 to 9, right? So likewise, if you want to particularly or specifically set employee ID as a range of numbers starting from 1, 3 to a particular range, that also you can set as the domain, right? So this is domain refers to the range of values. So for my company, I will be starting only like your register number, right? There is a particular series. So only that numbers, it will be applicable. So if you want to set the domain for a particular register number, you can always set information. And now we are going to the next term called information. Information and data, both, it is sounding the same. So you will be thinking, what is the actual difference between a data and information? Suppose in the same example, what I told before, you are taking a survey to understand how many of you are liking to have cricket and how many of you are other sports, like whichever you want. Some girls, when they ask, we will tell badminton we want. Boys will be telling only cricket, and some may be asking for football and basketball. So majority, if you want to take, you will be taking a survey, right? So when you conduct a survey, you know how to create a Google form survey. You will be taking a Google form survey. You will be getting 400 plus survey you will be getting. After that, in the Google form, in the next page, you will be having a graph form. In that, you will be having for each of that sports you have selected, each student, it will be giving a count. It will be giving a bar diagram showing that 90% or like boys, if they are more, as that's why I'm telling 90%, they wanted to, or 80% of the students, they wanted to have cricket, right? And then most of the girls, so girls also, so if you take the gender and the sports which we have taken, mostly all the girls might have opted for the badminton. So you will get an information which you can give to the director. Suppose our sports faculty had asked a summarized form. You will not give all the surveys which you have collected, right? You will be giving only the processed data, right? You will they will not have the patients to count and see. You will be giving only the graph form or the percentage wise form. That is more like 90% of the boys, they wanted to have cricket, and suppose you are having separate or combined in any way. If they want to have the data separate for boys and girls, you can show it like that. Or